right, we are at a little place called Sunset Rock on Lookout Mountain in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And we're gonna go do some outdoor rock climbing today. The type of climbing we're doing is called top rope, which basically means that as the climber goes up the mountain, he has a rope going up to the very top of the route, which then goes through an eyelet and comes back down to a belayer. And so in this case, for children especially, if you fall, you only fall like 6 inches basically, or a couple feet at most if there's a lot of slack in the system. So it's really safe. And I'm not wanting to teach anyone how to rock climb in this video. I just want to do a bit of an intro, a demystification if you're intimidated or curious about outdoor rock climbing, what it might take equipment wise. We've gone several times now with a friend who's been climbing for 30 years. So that's been our introduction. There are, of course, other ways to get introductions, like at a climbing gym, or hiring someone, or reading books perhaps, or watching YouTube videos, but that's up to you. So there's about a 8th mile hike or something like this to the top rope anchors, which I'll show you in a minute. And I'll go over a little bit about the equipment that we bought, how much it costs, and what it might cost you to get into this sport as a family. Here's the view from Sunset Rock. You can see there's some hikers over there goofing around. It's a beautiful place. And this is where we're gonna set up our top rope anchor. So because we are near the edge, I like to tie off to a tree with a couple of figure eights or bow lines to my harness, just in case I trip and fall. Although you could also do it without it. It's not totally necessary in this case. So off of the edge of the rock here, you're gonna see some bolts. Basically, professional rock climbers have come, drilled holes in the rock and installed these bolts. And those rings hanging off there are called rappel rings. Sometimes those will be there, sometimes they won't. And over here, there's another set right there. And you don't have to climb down there. You just basically reach your hand down there to hook up your gear. Your gear has many options. Basically what you're going to be doing is building an anchor, as they call it. And I'm going to be using 2 Dyneema slings. Sometimes these are called runners. These are climbing rated by Black Diamond. You can get these in Dyneema, you can get these in nylon, and then you'll need a couple carabiners. I have these pear-shaped carabiners, which are supposed to be a little bit better for the friction on the rope. You can also use D-style carabiners. And I have an assortment just for when we develop or try out other routes, so that I have some gear with me. And these are basically just different lengths. There's a bunch of videos and there's a bunch of philosophies on the best configuration for anchors, and I'm no expert, so I'm not going to try and teach anyone. In fact, I'm not even going to show you the setup I use, because I don't want to be used as an example, being a novice. But basically, with anchors, you want things to be redundant, so that if one of the bolts fails, or one of your sling fails, or one of your carabiners fail, you have a backup. So there's an element of redundancy, and there's an element of reducing risk. So you would oppose the carabiners like this, so that the gates can't spin against each other on the rock and loosen each other up. You also screw the gates down, so that gravity, if you get jiggling and vibrating, gravity will screw the gates down versus jiggling them into the open position. So again, I don't want to be any sort of a pretend expert on this, so I'm not going to go into details. But basically, the first step in top roping is somebody goes to the top, sets up the top rope anchor, and the rope is going to go through these carabiners, and I'm going to throw it down. So the first thing you need to go climbing is you need a harness. These were about 50 bucks each. I bought almost 5 different brands, I think. One for my wife, myself, and the 3 kids, and I basically just bought what was on sale. I bought this 7mm accessory cord so that I could tie off to trees, just to keep myself a little bit safe as I lean over the edge. A couple of beaners and some slings. Then you need some rope. I bought a 70 meter length climbing rope, also known as dynamic rope. You could also get away with 60 meters for a lot of cases, but the cost wasn't significantly more. A rope bag is recommended because dirty ropes, they wear a lot faster, and you can degrade the, you can degrade your rope very quickly. So I bought a rope bag. You could easily use a tarp and a backpack. And then I have some climbing shoes, and we got these for 20 bucks a piece at a local used shop. And then you'll need a belay device. In this case, I bought a Petzl Gree. You could, these are about $100 or more. You can also safely and reliably use what's called an ATC. They cost around 20 bucks. I bought this primarily to just hedge my bets a little bit because I love my kids and my family. But if it were me and my buddies, I would have absolutely no problem using an ATC. In fact, we're planning at some point on buying a second rope and an ATC so that we can have two top rope routes going right next to one another. So yeah, we spent around $1,000 for the rope, the belay device, some beaners, some slings, some harnesses, and some shoes. You obviously, depending on how many people are in your family, that may be a little bit more, a little bit less. Shoes are a great thing to buy used. The rest you kind of don't want to buy used because you don't know what it's been through and if it's been taken care of or abused, and that most of the stuff is safety related. You can get a shorter rope, you can get a cheaper Gree or a cheaper belay device, and you don't have to buy such a big assortment. So I would say for a family of 5, you could probably get into outdoor rock climbing for $600 to $800, and a little bit more if you want to buy a couple of the shiny blue things that they offer. Alrighty, next we'll go to the bottom of the route. I'll show you what it looks like from down there. That's my lovely daughter up on the wall, and this is what top roping looks like, where basically 2 strands of rope come down from the top. One goes to the climber, one goes to the belayer, in this case my lovely wife, who's using a Gree to basically always take up the slack. And a belay device is essentially the thing that allows you to have a mechanical advantage in case the person falls. What's nice is this is called dynamic rope.
Mama, I'm going off of the ledge.
So if they do fall,
You're okay, I've got you. Do you need help?
well,
A super small taste of slack.
well, I think what's happening is you need to pull the rope, Becky. If you look up, the rope is on that ledge. So as Mama pulls slack, it's pulling you off. See if you can sling it into that crack.
With it.
Oh, I'm giving you a little slack. Are you ready? So pull it a little down first, Beth. And then try to flick it in.
Almost there.
Yep, like whip
Pull
it.
it a little more.
Whip, whip, whip it, whip.
There you go.
There you go. That'll help.
Yeah, I see why it's going. It's like hard.
Yeah. So this is kind of what it's like at the bottom. Beautiful views if you're a nature lover. And it's work for the belayer. It's hard on your neck. And it's certainly work for the climber. And my son just got to the top and rang the carabiners, so now it's my daughter's turn. After almost 7 hours of climbing, we get to come home to this beautiful pink sky. And that's just the icing on the cake. So if you're mildly interested in rock climbing, of course you can try out a gym, but look around your area to see if there's an outdoor climbing place. It's kind of like when you go for a hike. There's no lifeguards, there's no entrance fee, there's no one there to keep you safe, but it's way less expensive, and it is, in my opinion, way more interesting. Being outdoors is my favorite, of course, and if you get the proper training and you have the proper mentality, then you can also do it safely. Take care, folks.